Hello and welcome to the 2022 Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. We are here at the International Disc Golf Center in Appling, Georgia. We'll be playing the W.R. Jackson Memorial Course. This is the Chase Card, Round 1, Back 9 coverage.
I'm Jennifer Allen.
And I'm Holly Finley. We'll be your commentary team for today. And on this card we have Jennifer Allen, Team Innova, Sarah Hokom, Team MVP, Haley King, Team Innova, Allie Smith, Team PDGA.
We're going to start it off on hole number 10. It's a par 4, 606 feet. This is a hole that, again, is another placement shot out here. You want to get it right up here to this middle section where it's leaving you about 315 feet off to the right. A lot of trees in the fairway. Hitting gaps left and right is what you have to do to get up here for your birdie. Haley's getting aggressive off the tee. This is her flippy wraith, and she hits the line perfectly. Gets caught up just a little bit on that right side.
Sarah's shot shaping ability is some of the best in disc golf. She has a perfect placement shot.
Haley psyched me out that I could get aggressive on this as well. So I went TL, and I thought out of my hand was turning great, and it decides to hyzer a little long, not exactly where anyone ever wants to be.
No, it's rough over there. If that would have just had like the Annie finish, that would have been perfect. Allie keeping it low. As you saw, Jennifer was high, and that can come with a lot of risk. And the lower you keep it, the less risk there is, unless you just cut roll it or something. I have never seen Allie play, and I'm really impressed with her game.
Yeah, she's our previous AM Worlds winner.
It's a very well-rounded set of skills.
I think Sarah's going to approach the basket with her relay.
Ooh, she sneaks inside the circle. Sarah Hokom will be putting for birdie.
And Jennifer's just trying to find any kind of gap whatsoever. And let me tell you, there was none. I was thinking about a tomahawk. I decided to go a backhand. Last second, I planned to throw this a little more aggressive than I did. But that tree was so close that I think mentally I just let it go a little softer than I wanted to. Otherwise, I think this would have ended up punching out to the fairway. But that was literally about all I had, besides throwing backwards.
And Haley made it way far down there. So her upshot also looks like it's right outside the circle. She'll have about a 37 to 40 foot look at it.
Again, pulling out anything. This is a Mirage. Have you ever tried one of those?
Honey, I love a Mirage.
So I had just a touch too much angle. I still thought it was where I wanted to land. Unfortunately, this hole does not like me today, and I get another roll into the other side of the fairway. So I've covered all landscape. I got the full effect of this hole.
Backhand, sidearm.
Yeah, got it all. Covered ground.
Allie floats one up there.
And I wanted this putt so bad to try to save it. The fact that I even had a look to save par on this seemed strange to me. So I really wanted to be aggressive. Unfortunately, those branches just really didn't allow me to raise my arm fully up. But walking away with a bogey, I was kind of okay. That was a lot.
Smooth bid from Haley. Top band. She looks a bit disappointed with that. Oh, Sarah's got some wildlife to save.
Another bug, yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, maybe that was not a bug.
What is it?
I can't remember. I think it was a little stickier than a bug. No, it was a caterpillar.
Oh.
We had several things that we came across. It was a wildlife day.
Okay.
Snakes,
Just
caterpillars.
Remember to move all caterpillars within 30 seconds, folks. There is a time limit in which you have to execute your shot and remove caterpillars. Sarah Hokom saving life and saving a birdie putt. Boom. I mean, her drive got really far around the corner, and then that beautiful upshot. This is one of my favorite birdies to get. It is very rewarding.
Yeah, she played that hole perfectly. Her forehand shot just sets this hole up to the perfect line.
Allie with her par putt. Jen will take a bogey here. And Haley's skating away with par as well. And there were only 4 birdies on the day on this hole. You saw one here by Sarah Hokom. Let's check out hole 11, par 3, 420 feet. I think most people are just playing this as a par 3, although if you can throw 400 feet, you're going to try to shot shape and get inside the circle. I've seen it done by the big distance throwers, Paige Pierce, Evelina Salonen, and I imagine my co-commentator here can get there as well.
As well as another woman on the card. Haley has some awesome distance and a driver that's going to curve right over there.
100%. I think the miss here is really ending up in the forest, left or right, and then not having an open upshot into the green. As soon as you trickle off the fairway, it's pretty thick.
Yeah, you can't really force anything. You've got to pick your line and let the disc do the work.
I feel like that needed more height to get there, so she'll cut early. Wonder if this is her vortex. And that is finishing left, and the notes say it was
possibly a quake, but I think that's a fairway.
A quake.
I'm going with a halo turn. It's a disc I've had out of the bag, turn completely. But I remember playing this in 2017, and it was a disc I used a lot. So I grabbed one, and it's flying great. Just didn't hold that turn quite enough for me.
Oh, but that's circle 2, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah with a beautiful upshot. She'll have about a 10 to 15 foot putt at it. And this is what you get if you just get off of the fairway only a couple of feet. It's not pretty. It's not easy. I feel like sometimes, you know, it might be better just to short your shot and land in the short grass and not venture off left or right into the woods.
It's just a smooth approach by Haley. Pin high, gave it as much as I had. Again, all of these just felt so close, but they just weren't falling today. Good little step putt by Allie.
I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Haley King cleans up her par putt. Sarah Hokom for par.
Love just getting a little bit of aggression, like, darn it, with those turbo putts. You
I've never thought of it that way.
can get a little more forceful. And I'm a very non-forceful person, so.
Oh, yeah. Very casual indeed.
Here we are, hole number 12. It's a par 5, 861 feet. Again, another placement shot right here by this stump, and then you have to choose left or right. Right side taking it just a little bit further on the distance to the basket, but a little wider of a fairway. The left side there that we're not showing is a very tight, straight tunnel that you have to hold that line all the way up past the little ditch.
The tee shot is key here. Oftentimes there's a wind, variable directions. This is looking perfect. That's about as good as you can ask for. Haley could get aggressive and take that left sort of turnover route.
She is throwing her destroyer, and she gets it to slide up there pretty far.
That was a favorable kick right back into the fairway.
This is a what I call a tweener hole for me. I honestly may even throw a mid tomorrow on it because, like we said, that landing zone is so important. I try to get aggressive here, and I go with the turn again, trying to go mostly straight and then a little fade to the right, and it just doesn't cut. That halo's a little too stable, and I get caught up on that left side. This will be Allie's purple sail.
That needs to hyzer, and it needs to hyzer quick. There we go.
This is one of those times you just take your losses, and like we've talked about, you're going to probably save yourself a stroke just by pitching that short distance to try to get to where we can get a little more aggressive on the next throw. I'm trying to go destroyer up this right side, and timing's off just a little bit, letting things go early. I was lucky enough that it kicks me to the left fairway.
What are you listening to in your AirPod?
It varies. It's really just something soft on repeat usually, but sometimes I'll change what song's on repeat. Usually in the trees, it's something pretty mellow.
Allie ends up on the right side there, so she'll have a bit of scrambling to do. And this is Sarah's second shot. Because of this positioning, she's opted to take the left route, which is shorter distance, but a much tighter gap. I feel like the right side is 3 times as wide as the left side.
I think definitely if it hyzers off too early on that right side, you can sneak over a little more open area. Whereas if you pick that left side and hyzer it all to the left, you're going to be in the forest. Haley gets one off clean all the way almost up to the front of that opening to the basket. I'm going with a rock here. It's a star rock, not a rock 3. Just trying to rip it as straight as possible and get as close up there to try to save par as I can.
Excellent. Oh, so she was on the right side, but it really wasn't that bad. Fortunately, she got a tree kick, so she didn't make it to the green. You know, but this is a par 5. Wow, Sarah picking a high gap. And she makes it to that trench, which is about 20, 25 feet away.
Haley lets this go a little too high, a little too soft, floats off to the right side. It's going to put her circle's edge. And that's unfortunate. She played this hole so clean.
A good finesse shot from Allie. That was going right at it.
Just a hair low.
What is your putter?
Yetis. Such a stable putter. I love to throw it, putt it, everything. I love the feel of it.
Pulled that one a little right. And for your upshot, you'd really like to be in or past that trench.
I was so glad she saved this birdie because she deserved it. Those were two perfect drives. I say drives because they were both full drives.
They were.
So she really deserved that. I'm glad she made that putt. That almost looked like Haley's putt as well.
I was just thinking the same thing. Wow.
These little lofty putts.
Yes. Darn it.
Yeah, it was close. That's okay.
I'm going to think that every time I turbo putt from now on. Oh, dang it.
It also helps me remember, think of Johnny McRae.
Yep.
Happy thoughts, little prayers for him. So I enjoy the turbo. I got a little slack for it. Like, why would you do that? And I'm like, well, why does anyone do that? Like, because I want to.
I do what I want.
Yep.
All right, here we are, hole 13. Par 3, 399 feet. The shot shaping on this is an anhyzer or a forehand. You have to go a long ways before you start turning. If you turn too early, you're going to end up in the corner of the woods. Often you can just throw it straight and then have a long pitch up towards the basket. It's a very long forehand, but I feel like it plays well if you have a backhand turnover that can reach that far.
Yeah, I think with a good clear shot off the tee, we can reach this, some of us. Haley turns that over just a little too quick. We have to throw it straight most of the distance before we get that to fade, and she just let it go a little late, a little too aggressive.
And it looks like Sarah's going into the woods, but it's kind of spacious over there.
Yeah, she went through a lot of it.
Yeah, the trees are fairly far apart, and you can still easily save par from there.
I believe this is Allie with her Vortex again. That disc likes to fade, go to the right for her, and then so kind of softly comes back at the end. I'm going with a Star Splatter Shrike. It's again the disc that goes the straightest for me, but still has the turn to it at the end. I thought I parked this hole. I did not see this late kick.
Yeah.
So when they told me I'm off to the side, I'm like, not me, I'm underneath the basket. But here I am again trying to save my life with my Cayman. Stretched out, I have a tiny little gap. As you can see, I had to pull everything back not to hit my arm.
Go, Cayman!
That thing, you can trust it. It's a disc that you can throw and trust that it's going to hold that line.
Allie showing us her forehand skills, floating one up.
Yeah, ultimate players have that touch. It's a quick, short release.
Sarah using a little ground play action.
And Haley gives it a soft bid.
I mean, when you're that close, why not float it up there and see what happens? Hey, left side catch.
Yeah,
Getting that
it's
par
in.
done.
Get away. Just go on. I feel like I've been scrambling all day.
It happens out here in the woods. This is Hokom for par. And the last time we played W.R. Jackson was in 2019 at the Hall of Fame Classic, where I actually was on the final round lead card and I saw Sarah Hokom win this event. So Sarah has some skills out here. She's familiar with the course. She's been here many times before. So it's always fun to see what she can do in these woods.
If I remember correctly, her putting game was on that weekend as well. We're at hole 14. This is a par 5, 579 feet. We're going to try to get as far up the fairway as possible into this open area before we have to hang a hard right around this last grouping of trees to the basket that's tucked over here to slightly guarded by a few little guardian trees.
Yeah, this is a good hole where you can go big distance off the tee. You want a little bit of a left finish. That way you can end up in a good position to attack the green or do a placement upshot so you can play it for 4. I feel like depending on where your drive lands, that is going to be your indicator on whether you should attack the green or not. Because it's easy to end up in the woods at that corner. That's a good shot from Sarah Hokom.
Yeah, that's her relay. I believe this is Allie's Quake. And Haley and I both went Star Destroyer. We're trying to get as much distance straight and then letting that disc hook to the left.
Oh, that looks perfect. Oh, on the left side, that's perfect.
It actually went further than I'd ever went in practice, so I was a little kind of like, what do I do?
What do I throw now? I've been there. Sarah has the skills to set up perfectly for the shape of this hole. Placement to the top of the hill, forehand around the corner, long putt.
There's that quick release forehand, trying to get some ground play over back to the right side by the basket.
And that is just so well done. The fact that they've already made it around the corner and they're basically putting for birdie. It's very cool. Very cool to see.
Haley has a nice clean forehand, and again, we're well inside circle 1.
Guys, if you've ever played this hole, you know that it is not as easy as these ladies are making it look. Jen, are you sneaking through?
I am.
Look out, camera guy.
Yeah, I usually always throw the big turnover, but I was so far up that I had to kind of pick that tight little gap, and the distance wasn't that far, but hard for me to throw a putter through a tight gap like that. So I went Mako and squeaked through. Go ahead. Okay.
Sarah Hokom gave it a birdie bid. Here's Allie for birdie. Ooh, a bit too lofty on that one. And this is you for birdie.
From a knee that they don't, it doesn't even look like I'm from a knee
no,
until
it
I
doesn't
sit
at
down.
All. King for birdie. Nice. This is such a good birdie to get.
A lot of these holes here, you learn from your mistakes as we play on every day. And if you can get the same shot, then we know maybe next time, maybe I should try this. I was able to do that on this hole today, so.
Sarah taps in her par putt. On this hole today, we only had 5 birdies, and it's all people that can throw over 400 feet and all people that have a very proficient sidearm.
I got to imagine just laying up for a smart par with the C-Noose.
I think he's going to give it a cheeky run.
Wow, if he throws this in.
Oh! Are you kidding me? Wow. Unbelievable from Nico LaCastro. OTP nominated. Wow. Look at the lift, Sexton.
No way.
Only on the Disc Golf Network.
Too short there for Bradley.
Live Disc Golf. Guys, I'm telling you, that's where it's at.
Here we are on hole 15, par 4, 543 feet. This is such a fun hole to play. I'm going to say it's my second favorite hole on the course. There's a couple different ways you can play it. Aggressive, massive distance off the tee, or a short placement just to hit the gap and make it to the bottom ditch. Depending on your strategy here, you might be throwing your upshot into the green and putting for birdie, or you might be doing a second shot to the top of the hill, a third shot into the green, and then dropping it in for par.
Haley's going aggressive with the Destroyer. Needed to put a little bit more angle on that, and it would have worked out for her, but she gets a nice kick to the middle. Sarah sneaks it over there. I think that kick's going to get her a little more opening. This is Allie's Vortex, which usually turns a little bit more for her. She was happy that it went through all of that and wasn't too upset about where she ended up. This to me feels like an open hole, so I also go Destroyer off the tee.
Ooh, get around that.
And with that stability, it's going to hyzer back, so I get a nice full flight S shot with that.
Boom, baby.
I didn't even see it rolled backwards. Man, I was closer. All I can do.
Ooh, Haley sneaks one by the tree. And it's actually...
Goes down into the creek.
Yeah.
It's a dry creek, but...
It is. It's not out of bounds. It can get a little hairy over there, though, depending on where you're at. Oh, incredible forehand skills. I'm just loving watching Allie play right now.
Just a nice clean release. It is fun to watch. Sarah also sets herself up great to sneak through. Could have trickled down the hill. I will be jump putting from 155 feet because that's my favorite thing to do in the world. And it dives in a little short.
Ooh, a little help from the tree. You'll be putting for birdie. Incredible. Hokom gave it a soft downhill bit.
And Haley was over in that creek dodging snakes. It was actually, Haley was probably out on that one, but we left some time for the snake to go away.
Yeah, nice birdie.
It was such a quiet birdie, too. Like, I had to kind of be like, wait a second, that was only 3 strokes, you know? Like, she just did it so casually.
Right. Haley King gets a good par putt in. This is your birdie putt. All right, so that's how you do it, folks. Drive, jump, putt, putt. Get yourself a birdie.
I won't even tell you how it ended up later.
Hokom taps in her little par putt. And I'd say this car played this hole very well. This is not an easy hole by any means, and you guys basically filleted it. Very well done.
Looks like she just needs to get a little snap off that. Hole 16. This is one of our shorter holes, 297 feet. A little turnover shot over a small creek, but then there is a creek that is actually OB right behind the basket.
Nothing left is out of bounds, so you can always just bail out safe, high on the hill, and pitch down and play it for a 3. But sometimes if you don't get close enough for a putt, you might even lay it up because it kind of is a death putt. This is turning very nice, but it's got that hyzer finish, and that's kind of the putt we're talking about. If you run it, you could be OB in the creek long if you don't contact with the basket. Is that your Mako?
That is my Mako. That blue one is my oldest, flippiest disc in the bag, and so I release it on a hyzer. Got an okay kick. It was fine. I'm in the ditch, which is the safe one. And Haley's pretty much S's straight. Ends up with a look, again, a death putt towards the basket. Sarah throws her relay, and everyone kind of ends up there with that, you know, outside, just barely maybe circle 2. Decision putt time over there on that side. I have a little bit more room to give a kind of soft, aggressive bid. This was a weird footing. I love my jump putts, but I've never jump putted into a hill. I had no place to jump, so kind of got me off of my footing just a little bit, but that was a safe bid.
Oh, yeah. Hokom's putting style, very suitable for this type of hole. And Allie, you can tell that was not a full bid at all. I don't even know if it was a bid.
I don't think so. She wanted to play it safe and walk on.
Oh, no, don't.
Out of her hand, that looked like it was in. I had already counted the birdie for her.
This is such a finesse shot to get to. It's, you know, easily you think you're right at the basket, and then boop, it slips in on the other side, and you're in that OB creek. Or you turn it over too hard short, and that's OB as well. Sarah taps in her par. And then when you actually get up there, you think, oh, it's a birdieable hole. I should be going for this putt.
297. This is one of our shorter holes.
Right. Like I'm in the pro division. I need to be putting right now.
Yeah, sometimes with these, you just have to pick and choose which ones to be aggressive. And this one, I agree with you. It's not really one that you can get super aggressive on, even though it's a shorter hole.
If you haven't, make sure you join the Ace Run Pro Patreon. Check out all their social media, Instagram, YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. Become an Ace Runner. Here we are on hole 17, par 4, 525 feet. This is one of the tightest fairways you have to hit all round. Not to mention it's uphill and you're coming in on the closing stretch. If you can get all the way to the top of the hill, you're sitting in the elite class. Most of us will sit right below the crest of the hill, and then we'll do a turnover up shot or a flat straight shot into this green and try to get ourselves a birdie. If you do not have a clean tee shot, you are going to be scrambling to save your par. That's a very favorable kick from our tree friend. She's in the fairway.
Getting kind of aggressive here. This is my Star Wraith. It's a pretty old flippy Wraith, so I'm able to release it with a little bit of hyzer and got a little lucky. Sneak through, little soft kick, and I'll take that all day.
Oh, look at that.
I believe this is Haley's Roadrunner. So again, when you're trying to hit a tight gap, sometimes it's easier to go understable, throwing it on a hyzer angle to sneak a little further, get a little more glide.
Sarah Hokom hitting the gap. No surprise there. Perfect shot. Allie gives us a beautiful forehand, landing in a primo position. And Haley asking for confirmation on the positioning of her feet because this is sort of an L-shaped hole. Just want to make sure that she's legal before she releases the throw. Hokom confirms.
It's always nice to have someone on the bag that knows your game and can kind of help, you know, at least give you that confident yes or no on what we want to do next.
And that'll be fading a bit to the right. Sarah needed to push that with more distance towards that back wall so she could have a putt at birdie. If you just pick that right route and smash it towards the green in the back, hopefully it'll die somewhere near the basket. And that could be a little closer. This is a par 4 though, so got a couple strokes to work with.
I'm trying driver putter approach again.
I'm liking that.
It came out so clean. I didn't know where exactly it was going to end up, but it came out like I wanted it to. So those Yetis float nice and straight. It's about 200 feet out, so it wasn't going to go too far. That quick snap out of alley. This hill, this down slopes to the right, so it's going to suck a lot of these Frisbees off to that right side pretty easily.
Oh man, that was a good run. Haley looking to get as close as possible. Yes, what an incredible par save. Run it back. Wow.
It was so great to see her make this. That was just like, after all the little struggles here and there, that just to end a round with a good, huge putt like that feels so good.
Look at you, birdie. I absolutely love getting the birdie on hole 17.
I think this is one that it could almost be a par 5.
I mean, the tee shot is
like
so demanding.
Yes.
And then the upshot is also has to be very accurate, and you have to have distance control, because if you get far enough on your drive, you could easily smoke it down there to that PDGA tent if you do full send.
Absolutely.
And with that, there were only 3 birdies on the day. Jennifer Allen with 1, and me with another.
There you go.
And Macy Vela Diaz.
Yeah, those I could say easily be an eagle.
An important part of getting a PDGA membership is helping grow the game. Membership dollars are used to bolster competition of all levels, from local C-tiers to majors. Tools like Digital Scorecard and Tournament Manager help events run seamlessly. Your PDGA membership also gives you access to Disc Golf Network coverage for select events and a 50% discount to their full coverage package. Help grow the sport and get started today. Visit pdga.com/join.
Hole 18, we finally made it. This is a par 5, 590 feet. You have to make it up the hill, stay in the middle, and I think on this one, not go too far. So you want to maybe even land a little short here so you can have the open gap on the right side to make it down the hill, and the basket sits just to the right of this big tall tree. This is one of those holes too. The full distance may not be what you want on this, so I ranged it today. We're about 240 to the top of that hill. I think if you can clear that, then you're setting yourself up for a nice placement.
Allie landing in a good position. She should be able to attack down the tunnel.
Just expect Sarah to work those S lines so clean.
That was so fun to watch. And that is leaking towards the woods. Is it going to hyzer out of the corner? Ooh, I love that.
Tight on that right side is the place to be for sure. It's just hard to keep a disc there.
As long as Allie can just keep this in the tunnel, she should be going right towards the green. And that she does. That'll be a long look at eagle.
Trying to make up ground. I'm going Destroyer, so I'm being a little aggressive on this, but it's going to cut back to the left for me pretty hard. I just want to get down there as far as possible to get one last look.
And Haley gets a favorable kick, and she'll be in the middle of the fairway. And again, this is a par 5. So everyone making good progress so far.
See, to me, this is an easier hole than 17. I feel like those pars could almost be reversed. Sarah stretches out the yoga pants.
Very nice.
She got up okay.
So this is a long jump at eagle. Well done. Basically a drop-in birdie at that point.
Yeah, it just feels like a par putt, though.
Absolutely. I felt like that was a bid.
Yes, little soft bid. One of those like, I really want this, but I also just want to walk away with a birdie.
Hokom for eagle. What?
It says birdie.
It says birdie. I must have missed a shot. So sorry about that. Hokom got a 4.
And she's happy with it.
Which is a birdie. I'm happy with it. It's a great play.
Everyone wants to end the round with a birdie.
You got a birdie. You get a birdie. You get a birdie.
That's right. Oprah's handing out birdies. It really is. It's amazing. Even with a rough round, just to finish a few holes off clean really makes you walk off the course feeling like, you know, you can forget those other holes pretty easily.
Oh, you said that best. Absolutely. Haley King gets a birdie. Everyone with a birdie to finish the round. I love that. What a happy finish. And with that, Haley King, 4 under par, Sarah Hokom, 2 under par, Jennifer Allen, even for the day, and Allie Smith, 2 over.
This was a great group. Wonderful women, were very supportive, and we went out there and did the best we could.
Yeah, we're checking into the leaderboard here. Haley King and myself, Holly Finley, tied at first. Evelina Kristen tied at 3rd.
Tied for 3 under in 2nd place.
Yes, I mean, wow.
Long day.
A lot of ties going on there at the finish. We appreciate you guys tuning in to this round 1 coverage of the FPO feature card. Thank you, Ace Run Pro, for coming out and filming the ladies. And thank you so much to our Patreons and YouTube subscribers. We appreciate all of you. And we hope you tune in tomorrow for round 2.
Thank you, everybody, so much.